Hey guys, just wanted to jump on here real quick, and if you're watching live, that'd be awesome. And we're also trying to record this for our Patreon site. So yeah, Anna and I and the kids say hello to you just real quick. It's going to take 2 minutes just to update you what's coming up on our February Patreon site. We're pretty excited about this. We have an interview with some friends, some close friends of ours. We have a live stream happening next Thursday. We have, hey Daniel, good to see you, brother. And we have another article and a podcast coming out with some of our partners from Creo and Sanctus. So real quick, if you're watching this live or if you're watching it recorded, we want to give you an update. This month, February, is modeling the ways of Jesus in your home with your spouse and with your kids. And so we really want to be able to get a little more intentional and focused on how we spend our time in our homes. As you know, as we all know, we are on our phones like this, and on our computers like that, and on our Disney Plus accounts and Netflix accounts, probably way too much than we need to be. I'm guilty, just along with all of you. But we're going to talk about how we use our time intentionally with our kids and our spouses, our wives, wives with husbands, boys, girls, the kiddos that you've been entrusted with. How do we do this together, and how do we do it without guilt or harassment or twisting people's arms to, do a bunch of new stuff? How do we use the everyday stuff that we already have to engage in our homes and really modeling the ways of Jesus? So three big questions if you're watching this. I'm going to take 1 more minute. 3 big questions we're going to be tackling this month. Again, we have a podcast coming out next week. We're going to have a video interview with some friends from Thailand, which I'm pretty excited about. Then we have an article, like a field guide article that gives you steps to take with your spouse and with your kids. So 3 questions we're going to be asking. Hey Audra, hey guys, thanks for watching. 3 questions we're going to be asking this month about modeling the ways of Jesus in your home. So 3 big questions are: what does Jesus think about the family? So what's really on the heart of Jesus for the family, for our marriages and our parenting? Where is that in the scriptures? Does Jesus even talk about that? Is that even in the scriptures? What's his heart? What's the Holy Spirit saying to us today in this culture for our families, for our homes, for our marriages? So we're going to be talking about that this month on our Patreon. Like I said, a podcast, an interview from a couple in Thailand. We're going to be doing a field guide again, a live stream with our family. So we're just excited to kind of create some ideas together with you to really start modeling this in our homes, maybe a little more intentionally with a little more focus, because we're just hungry for more of the Holy Spirit to move in our culture, in our families. And so, number 1, what does Jesus think about our families and our marriages? Like, what is really on his heart? And number 2, what does Jesus think about our culture? So when we think about our culture, how do our families interact with this culture that we live in? If you're like me, it's kind of easy to stay hunkered down in Minnesota, cold winters, turn on Disney Plus and make some nachos and relax. But how do we interact with this culture we live in today? Because we live in this weird kind of post-Christian. There's no truth. There's no meaning. If you stand on a truth, or if you stand on the side of an issue, it's so easy to attack each other and feel harassed or feel, offended. So we're going to talk about how do we interact with our culture that we live in as a family, including your kids as well. So what does Jesus think about cultures, and what does Jesus think about our cultural moment that we're in right now as Americans, as we live in America, this Western nation we live in? Number 3, the third question, again, podcasting, our interview with a couple in Thailand. It's going to be a great interview with this couple in Thailand. They have a whole nother culture they're working with. And then the third thing I'm excited about is this live stream next week with my kids and my wife, just showing some different things we do as a family, and then learning from you guys as you post what you're doing as a family. So again, and then an article that gives you step-by-step kind of a guidebook if you want to try some of these things with other families. But the third thing we're talking about, so we got what does Jesus think about our families? What does Jesus think about our culture? And then also the third thing is, what does Jesus think about his church, our church, this church, your church, the big church? What is on the heart of the Holy Spirit for his church today? And I'd love to hear some of your questions, some of your thoughts. The only way that this Patreon site really works is to share ideas. So we really want you to engage on our Patreon. And I'm going to have a link on our our Instagram feed and our Facebook feed, because we want it to be a safe place for community folks like you to ask questions and to share ideas and thoughts. So I'm just excited about that. We're excited to create social media that means something to families, not just the fluff of like what I ate last night for dinner, which is good. It's good to share. We like hearing the what you ate for dinner, but we want some really meaningful stuff out there too that families can really chew on together, and it would actually bless like married couples going through a date night. Maybe something you can listen on our podcast that's coming out this month too, or like a video. So stay tuned. Again, we're going to interview a couple from Thailand that's living this out in a different culture. They're Minnesotans, but they're living in a Thai culture. We're going to have a guidebook, kind of like a field guide with a step-by-step guidebook for families that want to just try some different things. We're going to be doing our live stream next Thursday as a family, which is always crazy with our kids and my wife. We have no idea what's going to happen during that live stream, but we're going to just talk about these modeling the ways of Jesus in your home. So we have some cool things coming up in February. So every Thursday at 4 o'clock, you'll see those things. And again, we want to create a movement, a Holy Spirit-led movement of families encouraging each other, sharing things together, and not being so tied up, isolated in our Minnesota cold winters. So we hope we can just build into something together with you. And if you have any ideas, please shoot